Hi students, so I am going to be guiding us through the poem today that you have for homework, just in case you needed any help with it. So first I'll start just by reading it and then give us some hints for the questions that you have to answer. So in the first stanza, I gave myself to him and took himself for pay. The solemn contract of a life was ratified this way. The wealth might disappoint, myself a poorer prove than this great purchaser suspect, the daily own of love. Depreciate the vision, but till the merchant buy, still fable in the isles of spice the subtle cargoes lie. At least 'tis mutual risk, some found it mutual gain, sweet debt of life each night to owe, insolvent every noon. Okay, so that's the whole poem. And we started this in class, but just a reminder that for question number, 6 down here, it's asking you to highlight all diction or words that are associated with money and business. So I went ahead and did highlight the few in the first two stanzas that have to do with any type of money or business. So in this first question, who is the speaker of this poem, right? Well, they're in the first stanza, they're talking about a contract. So we have to imagine that they are talking about, in particular, the contract or legal agreement of marriage. Just a reminder that marriage during this time period was viewed more as a business contract, that this was a way for a family to have their daughter match up with someone who would provide for her, who had money, land, and a way to better the family. So when we talk about the speaker of the poem, we make the assumption that it is a person, a woman most likely, who was just married and as a result gave herself to the husband. For the second question of what did her husband receive through this contract, I want us to think back to all those quotes that we analyzed during class, right? That basically when a husband married a woman, what did he receive? Well, she says, I gave myself. He basically receives the whole woman and also all the expectations that came with it. So we do know that during that time period, women might have been required to, again, bear children. So you might want to consider like what else he got. So he receives blank and all of the roles that a woman would have to play, such as, or would have to fulfill. So basically for that question, I want you to think about not just what he receives. Yes, he receives a wife, right? But think about those quotes and all the things that he got because he had a wife. Okay, so try to elaborate on that a little bit. All right, so moving on to the next stanza. She says here, the wealth might disappoint, myself a poor approve, then this great purchaser suspect the daily own of love. Okay, so who is the great purchaser and owner of love? Well, if we think about the first stanza in the contract, she's the one giving herself to him. And now we have to then ask, okay, so then what is being purchased here? Again, during marriage at this time, marriage was looked at as a business deal. So the great purchaser is most likely the person who had power in the relationship. So we can say the great purchaser, likely, and owner, most likely refers to, I want you to think, is it the man or the woman, based on what we know. The second part of this, based on the diction or word choice, how does the speaker view herself? Well, I want to point to this word here. She says, the wealth might disappoint, myself a poorer prove. So it's almost like she feels, maybe, that yes, he purchases her. Maybe she's a little worried that what he purchased will disappoint him. So think to the expectations that would have been on her as a woman maybe she's a little worried about meeting those expectations. So if she is feeling that way, how might she view herself, right? So the speaker thinks she might disappoint, spelling issues, husband because, and this is just making an inference, right? This is the speaker of the poem, just because she says, the wealth might disappoint. It could mean other things, but we're making an inference to decide, maybe she's worried she might disappoint the husband because why? Think about all of the ways in which women were expected to behave. Moving on to the third stanza. This is where the language gets a little more complicated, but let's try to figure it out. Depreciate the vision. So depreciate means to decrease in value. So I would highlight that because that has to do with money or business. The value of something's going down. So depreciate the vision till the merchant buy. Merchant is like a person who purchases things. So think back to the great purchaser. Still fable, in the Isles of Spice, the subtle cargoes lie. Isles of Spice is a marketplace. So again, where business is happening. Cargoes are products being sold in this marketplace. So again, we see a repetition. Who is the cargo or products and who is the merchant, right? So the products being sold are most likely the merchant, probably. So make sure you explain that. Why is it that one person in the relationship would be the cargo and the other would be the merchant? This is another inference, so we don't know for sure what the poet is talking about, but what is depreciating or going down in value and why? So one thing to think about, it says depreciate the vision, right? So what could be depreciating? Is it the vision of love that they might have had? Maybe she had a vision of the way things would be, but now it's not necessarily what she expected it. Another way of looking at it is more literal. As a woman gets older during this time period, the less value she has, the less able she is to marry someone else. So it's almost like as the cargo or products continue to lie, waiting to be bought. Lie is not like lying like dishonest. Lie is like you're laying down, waiting to be bought. As this goes on and on and on, depreciating, meaning the cargoes are depreciating, right? So maybe could be referring to that. So that's just some hints. Again, we have to make an inference. Finally, this is kind of like summarizing. What do you think is meant by using all these words related to money and business? What is she trying to show about marriage, right? Through the use of language relating to money and business, Dickinson shows that marriage is what, right? What is it and what is it not, in her opinion? All right, so we have the last one. At least 'tis mutual risk. Some found it mutual gain. Sweet debt of life each night to owe, insolvent every noon. This is definitely the trickiest one of the whole poem. And I want to say that just like we talked about in the PowerPoint, sometimes poets would mask when they would talk about sex. So I would suggest that this might be referring to what a woman owes a man when she gets married. So she says here, sweet debt of life, right? Why is the speaker in debt? Again, imagine the speaker is in debt because she owes the husband what? I think about quote 2 in our quote analysis, which talks about what a woman's purpose is in life, which is to bear children. So she owes him a debt in life. Each night she owes this debt, and every noon she is insolvent, which means she is unable to pay those debts. So thinking about what she owes, what's the payment that she owes him, and what does it mean that she could never repay this debt, that she's always going to be owing him something? And what does that show us about her view on marriage again? Okay, so that's my explanation of the poem. I hope that this helps in some way. Remember to finish everything in this worksheet, and then your final thing is to put it all together in a paragraph. So, what was Dickinson's message during the Victorian era? You have a prompt. In the poem, I gave myself to him. Emily Dickinson comments that marriage is blank. So put your reading notes together, choose 2 quotes, and analyze those quotes and how it supports your argument. And then think back to the Victorian American era. What does this show about how people were treated during this time period? Okay, everyone, so I have office hours Wednesday if you can't finish it, but please use this video to help you if you can. I'll see you guys soon.